How's it going, everybody? John Chick here. Hopefully you're coming to this video following one of my workouts. I encourage you after many of these workouts to do some form of stretching. I encourage a static stretch following, but some recommend going, later in the day with your static stretch or doing some yoga. I encourage all of those guys. Just you have to stretch. We do so much in the weight room and in all these movements that we are tearing muscles. We're recruiting new muscle fibers. We're doing a lot of awesome work, but if we don't open it back up, we're gonna be too tight and we're not gonna be able to move functionally. So very important to get some good stretching in. So I'm gonna put you through a static stretch here. First one here, just touching our toes. Okay, we never wanna lock our knees, but reach down as far as you can. Bend the knees, now grab your toes and re-extend as far as you can without locking. All right, back up. Now we want to cross over. We're going to work on our IT band here. So again, we're still working hamstring stretch, but a little bit more of our IT and high glute here. Should feel a stretch all on the outside. Your leg here, cross over. Hi, Mary. Hard to find a space in the house. That I'm not gonna be bothered to some extent. It was raining today. Make sure you guys switch. Watch out, sweetie. Go on. Alright, now I want to go down into a good healthy squat here. Okay. And we're going to press our knees out. Working those groins. Okay, now you just want to make sure you have enough room here. I'm going to change the video shot. Do a stand split here. Again, for our groin, but it's also for the hamstring muscles. You can walk it down in front, get more in the front, walk it back between your legs. Again, don't go too far where you risk injuring yourself. Just trying to open everything back up. Rotate down over your right leg. You guys may notice a bracelet on here. It says I dedicate, and it's basically a whiteboard type of bracelet here, so I can write on it anytime I want. I got this from my friends at Active Prayer, and you can look them up, but I know that they do fitness right. You've heard me talk about Active Prayer. You see how I dedicate my workouts, and it's a good way to intentionally lift up someone else in your workout. Now working on our glutes and IT band. Hold each of these poses anywhere from 8 to 15 seconds. Just make sure, again, you feel it opening up. That Make sure you switch sides. So we get a butterfly stretch, nice growing stretch here. Pressing the knees out, keeping the chest up. Trying to pull that chest forward, not arching our back, but pressing out. Feeling everything opening back up. And you don't have to do all of these all at one session, depending on the work we did that day. Toes up in front here. Important to for sure reopen everything back up. Most people, well, we get tight everywhere. I know I always need to do a glute stretch, a hamstring stretch, a quadriceps stretch, especially after sport. After all those, you know, if you're doing a bunch of jumping rope and things like that, make sure you're stretching your calves. It's a good quad one. I love, you guys. Okay, it's a little awkward to get into here. Reach opposite hand back to opposite foot. Okay, step forward with the foot that you're not grabbing here. And extend that hip flexor through, so it's just a deep lunge. But really opening up those quadriceps muscles, those hip flexors. And as you get more into that lunge and more forward, you can feel that groin get into it. Switch it up. Lunge forward. And the more you lean into it, the more it opens up. Now you can do the same thing from the ground. I'll show you, but it's like a pretzel on the ground. So if it's hard for you to get into it from this position here, we can come down here and basically do the same thing. Get into a pretzel. I'll turn sideways here, give you another shot at it. So, for a lot of our upper body movements, we need to open those areas back up. So here, work on my lats a little bit. So if we did chest, if we did like our bench or anything like that, and get down here like this, put my arm out here at a 90-degree angle, okay, and rotate out, and I should feel that in my pecs. And you can change this angle several times over to get at particular muscle and muscle groups that you may have worked that day. So that was the pec. Now I can do the same thing here if I worked some biceps, which I will. So the ground can help you in a lot of things. If you don't have a power rack or a rig or something you can get a hold of and you're at home, the floor can be a good tool. So now I work some of my shoulder and arms here, cross it over inside here to where my elbow is going to meet me on my chest, and I can press against the floor here as I roll over up on top of it. And again, that's going to be different for each person depending on how much stretch you're feeling. But I know I get tight in my deltoids. This helps me stretching back out. And just switch sides. Keeping those arm angles at about 90 degrees. Again, you can play around with it, but wherever you're tight. I have several shoulder mobility issues that I've talked about before, so I try to find new ways to stretch. If you're not static stretching, the foam roller or a lacrosse ball, anything that can help get into your tissues to help loosen you up are excellent ways as well. So I can do this same version here. Lay here, put my arm under my back. And to finish up, we'll get our calves today. Now, again, these are just some examples of some static stretches you can do, but these are ones I usually hit to help me open back up from the day's work. As always, you guys, I sure appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're learning, hope you're getting better. Hope you're finding a way to lift this up for somebody else. And as always, God bless.